Texas A&M 41, Notre Dame 40. We didn't have one 5-Chalai Classic yesterday. We had 2 5-Chalai Classics. This happened last year. You remember, we went to the Ohio State-Oregon game, 5-Chalai Classic, but earlier that same day, Penn State USC, also a 5-Chalai Classic. And if I recall, that's the same day Ole Miss LSU played, and that was like a 4.5 Chalai game. Crazy stuff. So, yeah, man, I can't imagine those A&M fans that got to make that trip. That is, you talk about that for 50 years. You're telling your great-great-grandkids, that's a long one, that's a long time away. You're telling your kids and your grandkids one day, 2025, made the trip up to South Bend. And by the way, at that time, we hadn't won a ranked game in I don't know how long. And we go up there, and Buckner drops the extra point. Boy, there's a Boston Red Sox fan and a Notre Dame fan, and just the name Buckner, I don't care about the spelling. Imagine what that does to you. It draws a visceral reaction out of you. Anyway, that story is going to be great to tell. Signature win for Mike Elco, signature win for this program. I can't believe more people are not addicted to this sport if they watched this last night. You could be agnostic. You don't even know what an Aggie is. Fighting Irish, why they got to fight? Doesn't matter. Does not matter if you know anything. Just watch. Just look at that. It's unbelievable. So, I'll tell you what I can't believe. I can't believe this Texas A&M offense answered the bell like that. I really was amazed. 32 carries for 128 yards. That's what they had last night, okay? That's supposed to be the way they win the game. That's supposed to be A&M. Their entire MO is we're going to punch you and punch you and punch you, and then we're going to punch you some more, and we're just going to be a bowling ball offensively. And Marcel Reed's going to do just enough, and he's a threat with his legs as well. But we're going to run the ball to win, and that's a formula we can take with us on the road. Yeah, they needed 41 points last night, and it was mainly off Marcel Reed's arm. And it's just not a combination of words that I thought would be coming out of my mouth. He was 17 of 37 for 360 yards, which is a very weird stat line. He's below 46% completion. And so if you told me, just say this out loud. Now, Notre Dame's going to score 40 at home. Your QB is going to be well below 50% completion percentage. You think to yourself, oh, well, hopefully we didn't get blown out, and let's regroup and get ready for conference play. And instead I said, no, but you're going to win. What? How are we going to win? Well, 86, 16, 45, 21, 24, 31, 18, 34. That sounds like Monument Park at Yankee Stadium. That sounds like all the retired numbers at Kyle Field. No, those were pass plays for Marcel Reed last night. And it could have been worse. He had several overthrows. Other guys were open. What happened to the game I love? No, what happened to the Notre Dame secondary I love? That was what I kept thinking to myself. What is this? Whom are these people? They're not Notre Dame defensive backs. I saw many people say Tyler Buckner cost us a game. Tyler Buckner didn't cost you anything but an extra point. Your defense cost you a game. That's insane. A holder? Now, it is fascinating that Tyler Buckner's career arc will include starting at quarterback for Notre Dame at one point. He started a game at Alabama, took a little lacrosse detour, whomst amongst us hasn't, and then ends up being a holder because Steve Angeli transferred out and he did not hold what he was supposed to, immunity, and they miss an extra point. But Notre Dame scoring 40 at home should be good enough to beat everyone in the country. And it wasn't, because we'll get back to the video 1 second. Do me one quick favor, look down, make sure you're subscribed. Most of you are. If you're not, please do so. It's the way we keep the channel free, we keep the videos coming, and we get to do college football year-round as God intended. All right, as promised, back to the video. Chris Ash, I don't know. I know you don't have the same personnel you did last year. This is Notre Dame. Pass rush is markedly worse than last year. Tackling is a big issue for them. Their secondary, outside of maybe the best corner in the country, is embarrassingly bad. And I just don't know how that happens over the span of a few months. Like, it's almost to the point where you've watched through 2 games, especially this game being a desperation game at home off a bye week. You got to try to be that bad in some cases. I don't know what's going to happen with them. On one hand, they've got 2 losses by a combined 4 points to teams that I think are really good. It's not the end of the world. It's nothing like that. But they got a long way to go defensively, a long way to go. Or else they got to win in shootout fashion. Feel bad for C.J. Carr because I think he's played plenty well enough to be a 2-0 quarterback. But instead, here they are 0-2. I don't know, man. But you remember our view on Texas A&M, which got a slight amount of criticism, as I recall. So they were bad to finish the year last year defensively. Mike Elco goes off. Now, he didn't throw a chair in the postgame of the bowl game. He did yesterday on the sideline. We're always in favor of taking it out on the chair, not the person, because it's illegal to do the latter. But we thought A&M's interior defensive line could be a concern here. And they got a good offensive line. And they got a really good group of tailbacks. And we really believe in receiver there. More on that in a second. And Marcel Reed, I went out there in the spring. I talked to Colin Klein myself. And one of the first things out of his mouth was, vertical pass game, I believe in it for us this year. I really think we've got the people to do it. Now, I listened to that. I filed it away. I told you that like half a dozen times. Well, it came time to prove it last night. And they proved it. And it was there far more than I ever thought it may be there. But you know what else was there? Transfer receivers. According to our friends at TexAgs, listen to this. This is the difference in a program like Clemson and a program like A&M. A&M looked and said, we may have some deficiency at receiver. Scratch that. We're not championship caliber at receiver, and our goal is to win a championship here. So you know what they did? They went and got Mario Craver. They went and got Casey Concepcion last year. Transfer receivers for Texas A&M so far this year, 33 catches, 670 yards, and 7 touchdowns. They're averaging 20.3 yards per catch. Because that's what you do. When you've got championship aspirations, but you got a little roster deficiency, you go get the players you need to get. And don't give me culture, because they got one at A&M too. If you didn't see them fight last night, if you don't believe Texas A&M culture was on full display last night, you're lying to yourself. What you think that magically the only kids that can adopt and emulate your culture are in high school? You don't think there are any kids out there in the portal any given year? It's always been nonsense. So good for them for going and getting the players they needed to. They will always be majority high school football recruiting, but this is Texas A&M. Should be one of the premier programs in the country. I always argue with people because of the cannot have not thing. But man, they have hit big time on receiving talent. And it's another page, not quite a chapter even. I just think it's a page in the Mike Elco era, the Mike Elco book. He's the real deal. He got overlooked when he got hired there because he got hired in the same cycle as DeBoer did at Alabama. So everyone was talking about Saban out, DeBoer in, what's he going to be? Not a lot of people talked about Elco, but they should because he's really, really good. And now you're seeing year 2, you're seeing it take on a little bit more of his identity. Here's what he'll see, though, that I think a lot of people won't. He'll see things that were unacceptable in a win. You can have a signature win and still have a lot of things that are unacceptable that you know could have cost you a game. Just because they didn't cost you the game doesn't mean you shouldn't attack them and try to fix them every bit the same you would as if they lost the game. So that is what I always look for, because it's one thing to get people's attention when you lose. That's easy. Can you get guys' attention when they go to South Bend, Indiana, and win 41-40, and everyone, including me, is calling it a signature win, and you're still undefeated, and now everyone's talking about your schedule? Look at it right there. Auburn comes there. You'll be off a bye. Auburn will be off the Oklahoma game. Then you got Mississippi State. Florida doesn't look nearly as good. You go to Arkansas, whatever. You go to LSU. LSU offensively a little limited right now. You go to Missouri after that. South Carolina does not look like what they once looked like. Arch can barely complete a forward pass right now. Everyone's going to talk about how workable that schedule is. Just worry about you. Just worry about you. This is not advice from Mike Elco. If he wants to take it, that's fine. It's just the expectation market out there is going to really ramp up on Georgia Tech and Texas A&M. And I don't want to incite a panic or anything, but they'll probably lose some games this year. Contrary to what yesterday told you, they probably will.